If you guys want to let me know in the chat if you can hear me and see me. And I'll also, my beautiful wife is sitting next to me, so I'll ask her if she can hear me and see me.
Just trying to find the email you sent.
Oh. Yeah. Maybe I should send a quick email.
Yeah, I think you should. Yeah, because I didn't see anything new.
Okay, and you're my number one fan.
I am.
All right, so I'm going to pop in here and send a quick email.
Okay, I found it from yesterday, the email, and I'm in.
You're in? Okay. See,
But you should send a reminder.
yep. You can see me and hear me?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So go ahead and, guys, if anybody's popping in, go ahead and leave just a little note. Let me know you're here, where you're coming from. Let me grab the link. And we are almost there. Let's do a quick broadcast. Oh, this is not the fastest way to send a broadcast.
You're fine. I can chat with you.
Okay. Good morning, Aromatic Wisdom Institute. Andy, Nova Scotia, Canada. Fantastic. I'm just sending a quick email to remind people that I'm live here. And super professional. I didn't get this done beforehand. All right. That's just gonna. Update, send. We're gonna get started in just a second. Okay. There she goes. There she blows. Email is off. There she blows. Hey everybody. Hey Radwayne. That's a tough one. Alrighty, how's everybody doing today? So John here from nkamesh.com. Thank you for joining me live. Sorry for the little bit of hiccup in terms of getting up and started. And looks like we have several folks on, which is fantastic. I'll pop over here, and so I can see what we have in the live comments. There she goes. There. Alrighty. And if you guys can hear me and see me, please leave a note in the chat below if you can hear me and see me, if it sounds okay. And we're going to get started here with talking a little bit about my latest course and answer any questions you guys have about page builders and all the great stuff in WordPress, which I have been teaching a lot of recently, and I'm excited to help you guys out with even further. So how do I see how many people are live? I'm not seeing that anymore. Can you see how many people are on? Oh, 6 watching now. Okay, they've moved things around on YouTube. Oh, hey, Liz. Your school's channel. That's awesome. You have your own school's channel. I guess I have my channel as well. Great. So let me pop over to showing my face and my screen, which you guys should be able to see at this point. And I want to tell you a little bit about why I created this course, a little bit about my backstory in how I've settled on Elementor, at least for a while. I'm always subject to change. But people are, let's see, that's 6. Okay, fantastic. Thanks, Andy. So Elementor is one of many, and a growing number of page builders in WordPress. Now, what a page builder is kind of what it sounds like. It's a tool that helps you put content onto a web page, and the focus of it is to make it easier for people who don't have a coding background. I did some coding back in the day, but I'm not like a web developing coder. Like I figure this stuff as I go, and page builders are one of those amazing tools that really help you do that and make it very easy for you to do so. So Elementor is one of the leaders. It is, by all respects, it is the leader in page builders right now. It has millions and millions of uses online, millions of people using it, as well as a very thriving development community. So when it comes to teaching this and learning this, it can be a little bit challenging because hopping into WordPress, it is a whole new world. If you're, like I said, if you're not from a development background, it's very quickly overwhelming. I've worked with a number of clients and helped them get from beginner to walking on their own and moving on their own 2 feet, basically. And it can be a challenge. Everybody comes from a different background. So I wanted to go ahead and start building out a library of courses to help you in whichever decision you decide to go through. And I'll talk about that in a second. But whichever path you decide to take to building your online business using WordPress, I want to help you at least get my walkthrough, my understanding, my thought process of how to use those tools in the best way possible. Because here's the thing. Elementor is the leader, but you might have already decided on a different one. Maybe you use Divi, maybe you like Thrive, maybe you like Breezy, or there's, like I said, there's a sea of these tools out there, and each one has their own unique benefits. And I'm not going to tell you that this one is the one that everybody must use. I think most people should use it. It is very easy and it's very powerful, but everybody has a different use case for themselves. So I want to build out and help you get to where you want to be, and at least make it in a very achievable, affordable, easy to walk through process. And so online courses are a great way that I can serve you in that way. I just got an awesome contact form message from somebody who asked me to just put up a tip jar on my website because I do give a lot of value, I think, for free out on YouTube, and he was very appreciative of that. So this is kind of my starting place of starting to at least take the channel that I've worked on quite a lot this year and just put some value out there for free. Or not for free, but I'll give you a chance to get a course like this for free. So let me, before I talk about how you can get Elementor here, just kind of give you a quick tour of it. So when you create your account on Income Mesh, let me just make sure everything's still streaming correctly. Okay, looks okay. Sorry, okay, looks okay. Got quiet for a second. Sorry, recenter. So on incomemesh.com, I've gone the route of creating a membership area where you can create your own account, you can log in, you have access to specific user content, and a lot of those at this point are courses and templates. So in my course area, if you purchase a course or if you sign up for some of the free courses, you can see I've got a growing library of courses on here. And this is something that I want to be able to teach as well. I want to create some content around creating courses on your own website and some of the benefits that I see in it. It's not right for everybody, but it's a fantastic way to build your traffic, to grow some accountability and some prowess in the eyes of Google. Anywho, so I have a growing number of courses on here, and the latest one that I've published is Elementor Hero. It has currently 36 different lessons in it. They are, I think every one of them has a video component. Excuse me. But as we go through here, you can see in this course, I'll show you a couple lessons so you can see kind of how beautiful the experience is and how nice it is. But we walk through the anatomy of a successful looking website. And we're kind of talking web design and getting everybody on the same page here of what makes a website tick. What is a theme? What is a page? All these different terminologies that people like me who have been around in the WordPress area, we can take for granted sometimes what we know, and we can have that curse of knowledge, which is a term which basically means that once you have learned something, it's hard to feel what it's like not to know that thing. And so I try to make sure that in my courses, both this one and any one that teaches a similar topic, I try to break it down from the very beginning and make sure we're all on the same page so we can move forward together. If you're coming in and you're already a pretty experienced person, but you want to learn how to do some of the more advanced things inside of a tool or something that I'm teaching, you can skip through that, obviously. And all this is free flowing. You can pick it up, put it down. You have lifetime access to the course when you get into it. But we walk through pages versus themes. What's the difference? Elementor versus the others. Like I mentioned, I go much deeper into the philosophy behind what Elementor does well and not so well, and what the others do, and why I recommend Elementor for so many people. We'll also show you some extremely good time-saving tips of building a website quickly. I am not a designer. I've done design work, and I can do a decent job of it. But if we're honest, I'm a bit more of the techie. I like to teach. I like to understand and break down and learn concepts and share them with others. But in terms of designing, I sometimes need some help. So I'm going to show you how, if you're not a designer and you want to build a beautiful website, why Elementor is one of the best places to do that, because it has amazing tools there for you. We'll talk about branding, some color schemes, some tips and tricks and tools that I use to make sure that if I'm creating a website for a client, I don't have to keep this notepad full of all these different color schemes, and how you can create a consistent color scheme very easily on your client's blog posts, websites, or your own. I say client because Elementor is fantastic for agencies, but if it's your own website, of course, this applies as well. And then we talk through all the different elements, how to use each one. What are the unique settings? Elementor it's got some learning curve to it, because there's so many settings for every different widget or element that you can use. So walking through each one of those is a good use of your time if you're not sure when you should use a divider versus a spacer, for example. Talk through efficiency hacks, design, building out a completely custom site. That means the header, the footer, everything in between is completely customizable using Elementor. And that's one of the most amazing things about this tool, is that it integrates with almost everything you are using on your website. And not only that, it also allows you to, if you're using like a learning management system like LearnDash, you can completely customize how your courses look. If you're one of those who's can be a little picky, like I'm one, that I want to have something look a certain way, this is kind of the best way to do it right now. Divi has just released their theme builder. Thrive Architect has been talking about theirs for like years. I feel like so. The entire industry is moving in this way, but Elementor was one of the first to market getting a full theme builder out, and that's allowed them to have honestly the best offering at this point. Again, so we have a ton of content in here. I'm already getting some really good feedback. I've gotten a few reviews of the course, some really nice testimonials that I put in some emails and things like that. But I'm just really proud of it. I just wanted to share that with you guys and open up any questions that you have. If it's about the course, that's fantastic. Let me show you one of the lessons, just so you can kind of get an idea how it works. So that's a weird thumbnail picture. So that's a much better one. So when you're in the course area, LearnDash is the tool that I'm using here. I get that question a lot from my students. They're like, "This is just a really good learning experience. How did you do this?" I'm using a premium tool in WordPress, and what it allows you to do is quickly navigate the entire course while you're working through the course. Well, what that means is you don't need to be flipping back and forth between multiple pages or losing your place in line when you're working through the course. You can quickly navigate to what you want to, pull it up, and work through the course at your own pace, completing lessons as you go and keeping track of it. And what's really cool is that it keeps track of all of your progress in your course area. So you can see what you're doing, what you're working on, and you can pop right back into where you were very, very easily. So it's a good learn at your own pace. It's kind of like an encyclopedia or a reference guide that you can come back to. And as Elementor makes major changes, I'll be making some major changes to the course as well, because I love learning this stuff. And as you've seen on my YouTube channel, I teach this a lot, but in providing a full course where you can go from start to finish, it just helps some people with the journey. Because if you get on YouTube, pushing beyond a 14, 15-minute video to put a lot of tutorial content into one video, it can turn some people off. They want quick hits of information. And so that's really what YouTube is for. This course, I don't go into hour-long videos. I try to keep the lessons short and sweet. Between 5 and 10 minutes are the majority of the lessons. That's enough that you can take one lesson a day, learn something and implement it and practice with it and move on when you're ready. So that's kind of my philosophy when it comes to teaching courses, but I go extremely into depth throughout the course, I guess, which is helpful as well. So I'm gonna take a drink of water and just get a couple questions in here. So Liz is asking, can you use Elementor with Divi? Yes, you can. Yes, you Canada. I watched Toy Story 4 the other day with the kids. Yes, so Divi is a theme which has a page builder embedded in it, and Elementor is a plugin. So, and we talk about the difference between themes and plugins and all that in the course as well. But long story short, you can install Elementor onto any website, running any theme, anything like that. What you might run into, though, is the overlap of functionality. So Divi and Elementor are competitors. They're probably two of the main players in the space. So what I'd recommend you do if you're interested, Elementor does have a free version. You could, depending on your hosting package, if you're allowed to, if you have enough to create a separate website, sorry, you might test it out and kind of play around with it, or before you go into the pro version. I'm just honestly giving you my honest opinion. My wife Susie, she uses Divi and she loves it. She's starting to like Elementor. She's been using it more recently, and she's recommending it in her beginner course as well, because it has that free version. It's very easy to get started with, but they're very similar. I prefer Elementor over Divi because it's cleaner. It's less. If you don't have a very powerful computer, Elementor is going to be better for you, because Divi can be a little bit heavy and things like that. And just the amount of development support is better on Elementor. So you can integrate with pretty much anything you want to. If you, a year down the road, if you have another need that you don't think of right now, Elementor is likely going to have a better solution for it than Divi would. But again, if you already have it and you like it, it's not necessarily worth the switch. Divi is going to be around for the long haul. They have a good amount of cash flow coming in. They're a strong company, and things like that. And Susie brings up that Elementor makes gorgeous pop-ups, which is completely true. Let me go ahead and show you that real fast here. This is, I guess, maybe the behind the scenes of the course. And if you guys have any questions in general, it could be about the course or about something else that I'm doing, or something you're just curious about, feel free to leave that in the chat as well. And I'm going to come here to my templates area for Elementor. And I'm going to kind of zip through this pretty quickly, because I go into step by step, way easier to follow than what I'm doing here. But I just want to kind of give you an idea of, if you don't know why Elementor is one of the ways to go, one of the cool things to do, I want to give you one kind of pretty exciting example here. So when you're in the pop-ups area, and I've got a lot of updating to do. WordPress just had their 5.3 update. I need to go and test everything to make sure it's not going to break before I do my updates here. You're very welcome, Liz. All right, so when you want to make a pop-up, and what is a pop-up? Like, a pop-up isn't necessarily just one of the annoying things that hits you and say, hey, give me your email address, but it could be. So we'll call this live webinar pop-up. But with Elementor, they have a ton of different creative uses for their pop-up tool, and I'll show you some of those here. So with just a couple of clicks, you can be designing a pop-up here where, let's say you want to collect an email address. You can very easily do that and pull in something like this, where you can ask for their email, their name, their phone. Or you could do something a bit more unique and just go straight for a sale. If you're already at the point of selling something, Andy, for example, I know that we have Elementor on your website. Andy's one of my clients. And so one thing that we might do in the future is set up for new visitors, people who visit for the first time, or if they visit from a specific website, like if they came from one of your concert websites and then make it to your store, we could offer them a specific sale that says, hey, welcome from where you came from, here's 20% off. A lot of unique things you can do with Elementor. And because it's so tightly integrated with WordPress, it's part of your WordPress website. It has a lot of those capabilities, a lot of those really tight integrations where it knows where people came from. It knows how many times they've been on your website. It also knows what their email address is if they're a user on your site. So geeky stuff, but as you progress, you want to make sure your tool can grow with you. And Elementor is one of those that continues to grow with us. If you want to do those annoying cookie pop-ups, which everybody should be doing, they've got pop-ups for that. So let's just play with one real fast here. And if you have any questions as well, you can put them in the chat. So here's one for a couple different options. And this is nice. I actually used this one when I was running a giveaway. I was working with a company, and they offered a lifetime license to give away to my audience. And so I put those up to kind of show them, hey, the countdown timer is ending soon. So if you want to get in the giveaway, here are the steps you need to follow. So this is a perfect use case of a countdown timer. And with Elementor, everything is very drag and drop. You can move it up, move it down. If you want to change the text that's on here, hurry up and grab these deals. We can say giveaway is ending soon. And maybe we want to change that text to that pink color. So what we can do, let's just grab what that pink color is. Get that color, and maybe we want to make this text, oops, just remove that, make the text blue, pink, and just like that, you can really design what you are trying to achieve. And what I like about it is, unlike the default WordPress editor, they call it the Gutenberg block editor, sometimes when you're trying to design a page, you're kind of playing around with it and praying that it's going to look right when you finally view it on the front end. Whereas with this one, it's really what you see is what you get. So you can come over here and see exactly what the design is going to look like as you do it. So one of the benefits of using a page builder versus just trying to make it all work inside of WordPress by itself. And then if we wanted to publish this, I'm not going to publish this because I already have my stuff. This is my website. I'm not going to just do this on like this. But you could go and say, do you want to show this on specific pages? If they're popping into your WooCommerce shop, do you want them to, maybe new visitors can get a 5% discount or 20% discount, don't be stingy, when they come to your shop. You can show different triggers on when it shows up, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot you can do here, which I think is just, it's really fun. You got to make sure you control yourself and don't focus too much on just tinkering and actually adding value, which is kind of the goal here, which is why I'm live, right? Like I can add value by answering your questions live, which is why I do this. But if I could, I would just stay and play around on Elementor all day long. It's one of my guilty pleasures. Anyhow, so let me show you a little bit about the course here. Let me just take a drink and look at some questions here. Fantastic. Okay, so this is the sales page, I guess you can call it, for Elementor Hero. And yes, this was all built in Elementor. And when I'm building pages, I like to be subtle. I don't want to have all the craziness. That's just my style. And also because I'm not really the best designer in the world. I like to keep my stuff simple and clear. So, but that's what you can do here. Slight color changes, slight styles, floating videos, little overlapping sections. All of this, if you're building out your first sales page, or if you want to get to where you're building out sales pages and funnels and things like that, Elementor allows you to just kind of work through and change it and update it as you go. So I think it's a fantastic tool. The fact you can start free, and an option for you could be, if you're interested, is I do have a bonus for the course where live coaching like I'm doing here. I have some, about once a month or so, I'll send out a specific coaching for students of the course, just kind of help them out along the way, and also for me to get feedback and make sure I keep the course good and updated. But if you maybe don't want to spend for the education, which I understand, like I like to figure things out myself sometimes too. If you don't have Elementor Pro yet, and you're interested in learning with me and kind of getting some additional help with me, if you sign up using my affiliate link, which is, I'll show you that in a second, and if you purchase through my link and just send your invoice to me so I can verify that it was attributed to me, I get a little bit of a commission. It's not the same amount as if you were to buy the course itself, but I get a small commission, which helps me pay my bills and make peanut butter jelly sandwiches every morning for my kids. So that's enough. And then I will absolutely give you access into the course as a little bonus and as a thank you for supporting what I do here. So that's pretty much it for the course. I'm not a salesy person, so I'm not going to sell you that much. If you take the course, what I can tell you is that I'm open to feedback. I think that I teach everything you need to know, but also the beauty about the tools that I use and my setup here is it's very easy for me to add and help and grow with you. So that's kind of what that's all about. And if you click on enroll now, you'll be able to quickly check out. And when you check out, you'll have instant access into the course and you'll be good to go there. So that is my pitch. I don't know. That's not a pitch. Like, Maybe it's a pitch. Is it a pitch? Let me know if it's a pitch in the chat. I'm having fun. But I really do appreciate you guys for all the feedback you've been giving me, both on the YouTube channel and onto my blog comments and things like that. It tells me that what I'm doing is working. So I want to make sure that I don't want to be one of those guys who launches a $2,000 course and expects you to, take out a mortgage on your house and all that stuff to take my course. I mean, at the end of the day, I want you to have the tools to succeed, and that's really where my motivation comes from. And it's kind of, I want to feel good about what I do. So I see some people who, they might be making more money, but I don't think they are going to sleep as well as I do at night. So I want to make sure that I'm honest with you guys, and I think that I'm charging too little for what I'm putting out there. And so that I might increase the price at some point, but I'm not going to tell you that you have a countdown timer and you have to get it now and yada yada. I don't want to pressure you guys like that. Kevin is asking, does Astra work well now with Thrive? Thrive Architect, I'm assuming, is what you're talking about, the Thrive page builder. Yeah, Astra is the only theme that I recommend. Generate Press is good too, but Astra is the one that I prefer between those two. It works fantastically with Thrive. If you're using Thrive Architect, I would advise you do not use Thrive's themes. And this is very confusing because their company is called Thrive Themes. They're working on their theme builder, and when that launches, that would be the time to test it. I would recommend probably waiting a month or so after the public release of the theme, because Thrive can have they have a history of needing to do some pretty quick patches from some of their major updates, but they are working on their own theme builder. Until then, though, Astra is the way to go, and I'm playing around with on a project with Astra and Thrive Architect right now. And the big way to do it is just use those full width stretched page layouts, and then you can use Thrive Architect and have that full design control. So I'm going to put in the chat here the link to the sales page in case you guys are interested in checking out the course, as well as my affiliate link if you don't have Elementor Pro already and you'd like to get it and load up at that point. So here is the sales page. All right, I just sent those links there in case you want to check that out. Oh, Liz asked about Thrive Leads. Good for you. Thrive Leads is fantastic. So Divi and Thrive Leads. That's a nice combination. What you'll notice is how different builders can be, because Thrive Leads essentially uses the entire Thrive building experience, and it's just worlds different from Divi, which is why I tell you that there's no right page builder for you to use. There's a lot of personal opinion there because they're just so dang different in how they approach things. My wife, I got her on Thrive Leads, and I'll tell you why in a second. She was like, I just feel like a bunch of engineers built this and not designers built this, because it's very techy. There's a lot of menus, a lot of buttons on buttons. So I like it because I'm an engineer. But there's a huge benefit in using Thrive Leads, whether it's for Divi or Elementor or anything else. And it's because you can do a lot of testing and you get data feedback on how your stuff is actually performing. So what that means is with Thrive Leads, for example, you can make a pop-up that shows up on certain categories of your post, which you can do with Elementor, or it's about the only two that I'm aware of that are in that same category. You can do that with Elementor, but what you don't know is how many times did people see that pop-up, and how many subscriptions or how many goals did you actually achieve from that. And what that tells you is a conversion rate. So if I showed this pop-up 100 times and I got 5 people to actually sign up for that thing, I can actually know that with Thrive Leads, and that can say that I have a 5% conversion rate. Is that good, bad? I don't know. But what you can do next is then you can test it by putting in a second variation, and maybe you change the headline, maybe you change the thing you're offering, yada yada. And once you do that, Thrive Leads will randomly show, well, not randomly, it'll alternately show one versus the other and track the results. So you'll know that, hey, this offer is actually performing better than that offer. Okay, well, let me scrap the bad one, and now let me test again. And now maybe I'm going to test the button color or test whatever. So long story short, Thrive Leads is a great tool for doing that. But it's more tools, more things on your websites, more things to learn. I just don't want it to distract you from moving forward. But if you're sticking with Divi, Thrive Leads is a good way to kind of get that pop-up feature and get some of the things that you would like for improving your conversions with your website. Thrive's forms, they have been improved. Kevin, Thrive's forms. I'm not sure what Thrive's form, the lead generation element, I'm thinking. I'm not sure what you mean by that one. Kevin, if you want to clarify that. Yeah, Astra is great. Ton multimedia. Oh, thanks, Andy. I'm glad the price was right. Appreciate that. One other thing I want to show you is part of what is so unique about Elementor is how you can customize different pages here. So let me go and just show you one of my blog posts. Let me just go to, I think that's a pretty short blog post. So one of the challenges, and people are talking about Astra and all these different themes, is there's there are very strong limits in what you can do and not do in your theme. So what I've done with Elementor, and I teach you how to do all of this in Elementor Hero, is take your blog post page, and completely customize it. So now if you look at one of my blog posts, what you'll notice is before you even get to the title of the blog post, I have a call to action. And I offer them a button here in the lock or a button here where it says start your free income mesh membership and get access to step-by-step training. So if you were to click that into an incognito window, it would allow you to directly register for the website. So that means that anybody, if they were to find my website from Google, they're going to directly go to a page like this. From Google, they're going to go to a blog post, and then before they even get there to the content, they're going to say, oh, they've got this option here, even from your phone, to start a membership and get premium stuff. I also decided to put a call to action underneath the title and the title and the featured image to get a strategy guide. I'm testing out which offer is going to work better here, but the point is that this is part of my theme. This is actually not part of the post itself, and then you get into the blog post. And similarly, at the bottom of the blog post, I've got a kind of an advertisement for the course, and then some additional things here. So this is all customized using the, and then also this sidebar here is not a WordPress sidebar. This is a sidebar that I built using Elementor, using call to action, search bars, additional kind of nicer looking content that you can do with the default WordPress. And this is all, I teach you how to do all of this inside the course, and just to show you what that looks like. So I made a blog post template using the theme builder of Elementor Pro. And if I just click on that, I can show you exactly how that looks when I update it. Do you want to say something?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Sorry.
So now, it looks like we're editing a blog post, but what's interesting is all this stuff here, this is actual blog post content. This is just like an example, a preview, so you can see what it's going to look like. But this is just a replacement. I'm probably getting way too deep into this, honestly, so I'll kind of keep it high level. But the point is that you can take your blog post and decide what you want to have above the blog post, to the right of the blog post. All of this you couldn't really do before the world of theme builders unless you wanted to go and do your own custom coding, which, let's be honest, we don't have time for that, and it's just not in our wheelhouses. So this is one of the things I really, really like about Elementor. So if I go and check out what I do, here you go. Same thing with the blog archive. If you click here, and I want to look at all the blog posts here, same sidebar, but this is a more customized style. You can see like a nice subtle drop shadow and cool things there. Or if I want to go to a tutorial area of the blog, you can see it shows something different. So a couple different ways of achieving that goal there. And Andy's asking, I thought you said Elementor handles pages well, but posts not so much. Great question. Yeah, so let me clarify that. So yeah, so if we go into, let me find a bigger blog post. Here we go. So in the course, and I know, Andy, you're a student in the course, so up in the front, it talks about the difference between a page builder and a theme builder and what they do and which parts of the page they work with. So let me see if I can annotate on the screen. I can't really annotate, but let's kind of work through this together here. So the top and the side of the post, that's part of your theme. This is considered your sidebar. This is your header. And then this content here is actually the blog post. but you can see the blog post kind of embedded into this bigger picture of what your theme is. So this post in particular, this is where it gets a little bit crazy. This post was written in the default WordPress editor, like all the content when I was getting my ideas out and adding the images in and doing all that stuff. I wrote this, very easily in the back end like this. But it displays more beautifully because the container, this actual template is what they call, but a template is basically just the window dressing where your blog post resides inside. This is all done in Elementor. So it is confusing, and I walk you through that a bit more step by step in the course. But the long story short is Elementor can control how your website as a whole looks, but the content that you plug into those templates, that theme that you're building with Elementor, that can be put in through the default editor, can be put in any other way you would like to. So for example, I could have written this blog post in Thrive Architect and embedded it into an Elementor. I don't want to get too crazy. All right. Helena asked, what's the difference between all the free Elementor tutorials on YouTube and Elementor Hero? Great question. So I do not have any of my YouTube tutorials in the course. Here's kind of the way that I like to think about it. I give a lot of value away for free on YouTube, where I will, you'll get a nugget to take away from a tutorial that I do on YouTube. But what I don't do is really go deeper into explaining the what and the why. And on Monday, I might do a video on using the theme builder, and on Wednesday, I might do something totally unrelated, like on blogging or a different plugin. And so you can pick up little pieces over time from my YouTube channel, and I don't hold anything back. Like if I'm going to teach you something, I'm going to teach it to you the best way that I can. In the course, the benefit of it is, let me just go into the course here, is that because this is kind of a pick up and put down, you can access it and reference it as you need. I can go into much more detail, and I can really work through an overall process where you start from having, I'm assuming you're starting from having no knowledge of Elementor, theme builders, page builders, any of that content, and we can work through the entire process of, of installing it, activating it, setting it up, customizing it, and you can follow it step by step, lesson by lesson. And if you're just getting started, you can have a beautiful looking website by the end of the course. If you already have a website, you can basically pop in, and if you have something you're not happy with or unsure of, you can access that content as you need it. So will some of this content show up on my YouTube channel? Not this exact content, but maybe some of the concepts I might dive into and offer up as well, because like I said, I enjoy teaching and I love sharing. But the benefit of the course is, first of all, you get greater access to me if you have questions as you're going through it, but also you don't have to feel like you're piecing together and wrangling information from different blog posts and different websites and different teaching styles. You can kind of walk through the process step by step. So I hope that answers your question. Alrighty, let me change my view here. Great. So I think that's it for me, guys. Like, I really appreciate you. If you have any questions about general stuff, like I've enjoyed rapping about Thrive and Astra and all the other good stuff in the world, a little sneak peek is I am working on a little something special with Astra. I spent all day yesterday working on it, so I was very inactive on my own stuff. But you'll see, I don't think I can really explain too much about it yet, but it's a fun little project I'm working on with them. And if you are a Astra member, an Astra Pro member, you'll see that and be very excited for it. But more to come. That's just kind of a teaser. So I guess to wrap up, if there's no other questions here, is if you are looking at, if you're looking at your website and you're not entirely happy with how it's come together and you need some additional help and guidance and in-depth walkthrough of using Elementor, I am very proud of my course. I enjoy serving you guys. I invite you to check it out. I put the link a little bit higher up in the video. But also, if you just want to get Elementor Hero or get Elementor Pro, which is the actual tool, I'll give access to the course to you for free. All you have to do is sign up and then email me your invoice, the receipt of your purchase. I'll just do some double checking to make sure that it went through properly, and then I will add you into the course. So that's it for me. I'm John from Incomesh.com. I hope you enjoyed this time here together. I certainly did, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. You always wonder, like, when is it time to stop?
Right?
I'm going to stop it.